Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching today's edition and thank you for clicking on it. And I hope that in the same spirit you click on all the others so that you watch everything that is here. It is for your consumption. So please then give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe now. There's a button there that has been written subscribe. You just tap on it, it is free. So you help the channel grow if you do that. So thank you very much. So I'd like to talk about the tricks and tips that I use to make sure that I keep the shop running. So it is a small retail shop that I run. If this is the first time you are clicking on this channel, I just want to refresh you. What I do basically, I'm someone who's employed in an 8 to 5 job, and on this channel we discuss hustle stories. It does not matter if it is a hustle that is meant to bring money on the table. It can be a hustle of any sort, maybe a tough situation that you underwent and then you rose above it. Then now you are at a better place now. It can be emotional, it can be financial, all these things you'll find on this channel. And so now today, I'd like to let you know what I do. I work an 8 to 5 job and I also run side hustles on the side. And one of the side hustles that I run is actually a small retail shop. So that is basically what I want to talk about today. Things that I do in this small retail shop so that I'm able to keep it running. You know, running a small business or any other business for that matter is not easy. It is not easy. So now, I'm sure you've seen people running businesses and after a few months, maybe for one reason or the other, they close it up. It does not mean that there's mismanagement, but there are things that I've actually discovered I can use so that they make sure that even though situations may not be very favorable, but it helps me keep the shop running. I have some geese over there. Forgive me about the noise. The first and foremost thing that I'm going to share with you is that I identified a very odd day where I actually maximize on sales. And this is on a Sunday. I know this one may vary depending on where you are and your location and all that, but for me it works for me on Sunday. I realize that on Sunday most people are closed. And so all the surrounding small retail shops are also closed. So now what I do, of course I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. So I have to go to church first thing in the morning. Well, some guinea fowls have decided to compete with me. So now I have to raise my voice because now what can I do? That is just how guinea fowls behave, especially when the female wants to lay eggs. It is total noise. Anyway, they've now calmed down, so I'll just continue. I was saying, I've discovered that on Sundays, usually most small retail shops are closed. So now I maximize on that. It does not mean that I don't worship. I first go worship and then I come and I open the shop. So now I keep it open on every other Sunday, unless it is just impossible. Then I try as much as possible to keep it open on Sundays. Uh, Trick number two that I do is that right from the word go, I avoided debts. I avoided debts. That one was one of the things that I heard from many people. When I was doing my research, I discovered that most people were saying, I used to keep giving people products on debt, and then they pay me at end month. Then over time, they realized that some of the people who were customers in that shop went away. Some moved from where they were living, and then they went away with huge debts. If someone takes a debt of about even 3,000 shillings from a small retail shop, that is a lot of money. 3,000 shillings, especially in the current economy, it is a lot of money. A lot of money. It may seem little, but it is much because it covers quite some products in the shop. So if three people should do that, then you just go under. So I learned that from the word go and I've maintained it. I do not do that in my shop. And that has kept the shop running. On to point number three. On to point number three. We are moving very fast because I do not have any intentions to make this video longer than is necessary. Point number three, I make sure that the shop is opened early and closes late. Yes, opens early and closes late. Why? Because some of the things you'll stock in a small retail shop are things that are usually used in homes, and most of the time they're emergencies, or there's a group of people who just buy things on a daily basis. that is why shops are there. Someone wants milk in the morning to make tea, and probably they didn't even have money the previous night. Maybe someone has just sent them money in the morning, or through some means they get money in the morning. Now they buy it. There are some group of people who have the money, yes, but they just have that, there's a bit of conditioning that someone has to buy milk and bread in the morning so that they make breakfast. So some of the things you'll sell in a shop, you'll realize that you'll sell mostly early in the mornings and late in the evenings. If you miss that and you focus on only daytime, depending on your location, especially if you're situated in within estates, then you are missing out on the the cash that should be coming to you. So personally, I've discovered that I can maximize on sales if I open very early in the morning and close late in the evening. So while I'm away in my 8 to 5, then I make sure that whoever is there opens at such times, because they are, of course, my policy bearers. Yeah, what I believe in is what they act on. And that has actually kept the small retail shop running. And then in the course of my operations, I've also realized that people do not like standing for long hours in the shop. So the trick I use is that I serve them very fast. And I've also trained my assistants so that they're able to serve them very fast, whether I'm there or not, so that when someone comes already, you welcome them, and then you find out what they need, and as soon as they let you know, you are getting that thing, unless there are further questions, unless someone needs clarification on prices and other available brands, then now you are just finishing up on serving them, and the flow keeps moving. People keep coming and going because people do not like waiting. People do not like waiting. So if you serve them faster, they like it and they'll keep coming. It keeps the shop running. Yeah. I know there are many things that and tricks that people use. If you're someone who's running a small retail shop, please comment down below. Tell me what you do. I know there are people who've done this for so long. Like recently, I had someone coming on one of the comments under some of the videos that I did, and someone was telling me, I'm running a very successful shop with my brother, and we also have a monetary services like a pesa. We also have. He mentioned a number of things that they have in their shop, and I was feeling like, this is good motivation. Yeah. So if you're someone who has other experiences, my experiences are not cast on stone. They're just experiences that I've experienced personally, and they're working for me. Some of them may not even work for you, but I have a feeling that some of them cut across. So if you're someone who has fresh ideas or ideas that I've not mentioned here, please feel free to comment so that it's an interactive session that we both learn from each other. And so I'll move on to the last point that I use in my shop that has seen the shop running. Let me tell you, I discovered that there are some products we usually are in a haste to order from suppliers, and there are actually things you can make on your own. I'm thinking I'll actually make a video on how I make some of the products that I put in my shop myself, so that I do not have to order them. It means that I gain even more instead of just waiting for things like mandazi. Yeah, mandazi, if you take a packet, there's one for 110 shillings and another one for 60. You only make 10 or 20 shillings in each of these packets. So I've discovered that I can make the products run even more faster in my shop if I make the mandazis myself. To this table, do them. This table sometimes lantisha. Unaenda mbali, rudi karibu, bora usianguke ndani ya. So I just get the normal bale of flour that you usually order from your distributor, and then instead of just putting them on the shelf, you commit to making at least, depending on the flow, I make at least 1 or 2 packets in a day, so that I'm selling what I've actually made for myself. So that calls for a lot of commitment, because you have to invest extra time into the shop, but it works. It works. It keeps the shop running. It means that you are selling the bale of unga even faster. If you are selling maybe a bale in 2 or 3 days, then now you can do half that time. And then the next thing that I do, you see these small packets of magadi. I wish I was in the shop, I would have illustrated better. But if you're a retail owner, I believe you know what I'm talking about. There are small sachets of things like soda ash, which is locally called magadi. And then there's also one that is called citric acid. Do you know those ones? So I just buy the tape, and then I have a candle with me. These ones, I've actually had an idea of my next, the next video that I'm going to make is actually how I do them practically. So now I buy the tape, and I buy the citric acid or soda ash in bulk, and then I put them in the strip, and then I use the candle to burn them at different points so that I sell them for either 5 shillings or 10 shillings. So I don't have to wait for the supplier to come for his strip, which he's going to sell to you at probably 100 shillings, and you are getting 20 shillings profit from that. So I'm getting even more profit if I make these products myself. Things like groundnuts and snacks for children. There are some of these snacks that are usually just put in hot oil, and then they puff up. So these ones you do not have to buy. You just, especially if you're someone who's running a shop yourself, you have no excuse just sitting the whole day, especially during the day when client flow is usually low. You can use your time to create these things yourself so that you hang them there, and then you gain much profit. If you look into it, you'll discover that you're gaining even up to 50% profit. Unlike if you just sit and wait for the distributors, your profit margin goes lower. Yeah. So I think I'll end this video at this point. If you have any additions, any comments, any new ideas, please feel free to comment in the comment section so that we continue with our discussion there. So I'm very grateful for your support. I'm very grateful for your viewership. Until the next edition, I'll say goodbye at this point.